You vote no, you're voting to shut down the government. If you vote no, you're voting to deny aid to people with disaster. If you vote no, you're voting against helping American farmers and ranchers at a difficult time. And if you vote no, you're voting to strip important provisions that are being extended into next year. Why? Because you don't want to give the next president enough time to get organized. And you want to use the debt to leverage. The extension of the debt ceiling is what we've done for the last 2 years. It's what you supported 2 years ago. There's no change in that whatsoever. So if you want to fight other things and other battles, that's great. I welcome that debate. I think it's a legitimate debate. But you're voting against a bill that everything in it you support. Every single thing. And you're doing that for political purposes. So please don't lecture us about that.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, denial is not just a river in Egypt. Let's talk about the last 2 years. It was the Democrats who raised the debt ceiling, not the Republicans last time. Many of you voted against it. It was the Democrats who kept over the government, not once, not twice, but every single time we needed to keep the government open, it was the Democrats who kept the government open. More of us voted for it than you. And all I've heard for the last couple of weeks about it, this giant mandate, landslide, trifecta. Put on your big boy pants, pass your own bill. We're only here because you guys can't agree amongst yourselves. So hold on a second. Democrats will keep government open for the American people. We will mediate the disagreements between that side of the room and that side of the room. We will do that for you, but you got to at least invite us to that meeting. So if you want us to solve your problem because you can't agree amongst yourselves, reach out. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Time has expired.
We are in favor of every request that you asked for. These were modest agreements that were reached and rendered by both parties in an honest and public agreement. The Speaker of the House broke his word. That's why we're here. And to the gentleman from Missouri who just spoke, I've been here for a long time. You have never won a government shutdown, and you won't win this one either. Your currency in this institution is your word. We reached an agreement. We came to modest achievements. And a tweet changed all of it? Can you imagine what the next 2 years are going to be like if every time the Congress works its will and then there's a tweet? Or from an individual who has no official portfolio, who threatens members on the Republican side with a primary, and they succumb? This institution has a separate responsibility based upon the separation of powers. Members of Congress don't serve under presidents of the United States. It's called the national principle. I'm in favor of aid to North Carolina. I'm in support of aid to the farmers in Missouri. We come to the aid of the American family at moments like this, but you walked away from your word. You walked away from an agreement. That's what we're bothered by. A simple suggestion from the president-elect that you ought to abandon that principle? And this is what this is about. This is trying to raise the debt ceiling to disguise a big tax cut that they want to offer later on. In December of 2017, the TCJA was rendered, and my friends, particularly the ones that have been here for a while, you know what I'm about to say is true. You borrowed the money for a tax cut. $2.3 trillion for a tax cut for wealthy people. And when you see the distribution tables, you know who got what. We are trying to avert a government shutdown, but we're also trying to subscribe to the basic principle as outlined earlier. We reached an agreement. It was honorable. It came to the aid of everything you've asked for. And then you walk away from it? What about your word going forward here? What about the currency that I noted a moment ago? And I want to tell you, you cannot win a government shutdown, and you won't win this one either. We need to return to the original agreement and stick with it. The last word here I'm going to offer is this.
It's expired.
The Speaker of the House needed to keep his word on this
The gentleman's
legislation.
time.
Stay with
The
it.
gentleman will suspend.